to tie together with your story, because you're doing really well now. And I want to ask you a couple of quick questions. Were you
Yeah.
were you gay at the time, and were you both gay, out and about gay men?
And yes, yes. I am a father of 9 kids, though.
You're a
And I
father
was
of
married.
9 kids?
Yeah, I have
Oh
6
my
girls.
God,
Yes, yes.
that's
Um,
amazing.
yeah, I was married. To a female. Actually, we were best friends. We planned it. She know about my life, I know about hers. We just wanted some kids. You know what I mean. So our
Okay.
kids ain't mistake. This and that.
Mhm.
Needless to say that I knew, and I ain't gonna lie, I had been through a lot of hard relationships or whatever else. And I ain't gonna lie, when me and him would talk, I was like, do you think this is gonna work? Is you okay with the age? Because he didn't believe my age. No one believes my age, you know what I mean? And he was like, you're what? And I ain't gonna lie, I'm actually, because his mom's like 54. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
And
see, I don't think there's a problem with your
well,
age in
we
his age.
just,
I don't think so. I mean, as long as he's mature enough to understand what he's getting
and he does.
into. Where I find the issue for me is the fact that he's a lot younger than yourself. And you have, like you said, you guys went to counseling to probably deal with your relationship and other issues that you may have. But for me, the hurdle would have been the 9 children.
No,
Regardless of how good the sex was and the connection between the two of you, 9 children is a lot.
and I'm
And
gonna
for
tell you.
a young, and 1 minute, and for
I'm sorry.
a young person of herself, yeah. Do you want me to call you him, her? How do you
We go back.
identify?
We both
Okay.
go back. We,
Okay.
mhm.
Now, when you as a young person and you saw, even though he and his ex-wife gets along well and the children, the fact that in the back of your mind, he's 50, that means that one of the children are close to your age.
A lot of them.
Okay. So
Yeah.
this, you understand where I'm going with this,
No,
right?
I understand exactly where you're going from. And you
Okay.
would not, you would not, and I'm glad that you asked that because a lot of people don't, you know what I mean? Um, he actually closer to my kids than I am.
Oh, okay.
They call him when they don't want to speak to me, they speak to him. They deal with him more than me because I'm stern. I ain't listening to nothing. What I said is what I said, and I'm done. You better go over there. You know what I mean? And until they take
Mhm.
him off. Now he does have another side, but he has more of. I don't have a tolerance for all that bullcrap. If I feel like when you're going through something, you go through it, you get it. You got to pray it out. You know what I mean? You got to fight it out. Sometimes, it can't always be handed to you on a silver platter. You know what I'm saying? And our marriage actually didn't come easy. Like we had some running track and the little hurdles you jump over. Yeah,
Mhm.
I'll tell you something. You know what was beautiful? We jumped over them together. We didn't take ownership like, well, I did this, you did that, da, 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 da. I'm not gonna lie, we are not victims of cheating. Neither one of us has never cheated. We're not swingers. We're not doing that, and we don't do threesomes. And that was something that I wanted to show the community that you know what, this ain't hubby. This is a husband. Hubby to me means you have a mini hubbies. Every time I turn around, people got.
Mhm.
I like to judge, but if that's what you do, we are here to represent the key standards of marriage in the same sex and uplift them, hold them. Any other questions you want? I just was trying to
Okay.
give you a little. Mhm.
I understand. It's make perfectly great sense. Good sense to me. Now, Dante, it's you, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's Dante. Now, Dante, let me ask you this. Now, when you met this man, and you was all up in the club, doing your thing, dropping it like it was hot and tearing up the club,
Yes.
trying to do your thing. Now, what did you think of Jamal when you saw him come over there and start dancing with you?
I was actually nervous. Like I kept pushing him away. I was scared. I'm like, You ain't getting. Oh no, you ain't getting what? No, you wasn't trying to burn me. So I'm like, so I was like, hold on. I had to really look at him, and I'm like, you think you like I felt scared, but in my eyes, you know, he looked at he's a beautiful man. Like I was scared, but at the same time, my heart was attached to his, but I didn't know how to like come out with it. So I'm like, well,
He making me sweat.
So I'm like, well, so how, like, I lied to him and told him, I said, well, my sister said that she wants your number.
Oh.
I really wanted it, but I didn't know how to say it from myself. So every time I saw him, I was scared to ask for his number. I used to be like, well, she wants your number. But it was me who wanted his number.
Yeah, you said, oh yeah, my sister said.
I was like, my sister said she wants your number.
So were you guys in a gay club or just an open club?
We was at a gay bar.
Yeah.
Now, one quick question I want to ask you, Dante. What did you think? Now, I can tell that the chemistry between the two of you are really good. I can see that. I can see that energy and that light. Two questions I want to ask that I think our audience would be really interested in hearing about. What did you think after your first encounter with Jamal? How did you feel? Did you think, I think there's something different here than the usual gay hookups? You know how we do things, and it just, you know, and we walking out of people's place in the early morning in the bright sunlight and the walk of shame, or what they call it. Now, how did you feel after your first night? You don't have to get intimate, but just tell us, what did you feel after you and Jamal had, let's just say, consummated your marriage?
Well, the first time, like, I was scared. I felt scared because I've been hurt so many times, so I wasn't just going like just zoom right into something. But I felt like I felt free. And the way how he made me feel, it was like, I don't want to jump into something. I want to feel like I don't want to be hurt by anybody no more. Because a lot of times I was, but I had to realize, I had to open up my eyes and say, he's not going to hurt me.
Okay. Now, one other quick question. Like I said, I see the chemistry between the two of you. Now, what did you think when Jamal told you he had 9 children?
When he told me that, it made me feel a type of way, because I tried to have a child. My baby died. So, and I didn't think that he really had any kids. I thought it was just him. But at the same time, I loved him for anything. Like, I love his kids, but it hurted me, but I had to live through it.
Now, I don't want to get into we'll do that in another segment of the show when we actually get the program on what we're trying to work on. We'll come back to you down the road, where maybe we'll bring you in and we'll try to see if we can talk to the family. Right now, we're just getting the connection. Now, let's talk about pride. Now, Jamal,
yes,
you with a family of 9 children, do any of your children identify as gay, bisexual, or pansexual, or whatever?
You talking about how do they label me?
No. Right now, any of your children that you have, do they identify in any way other than heterosexual?
Yes, I have kids that, you know, are into the lifestyle, whatever else. Okay. Are they fully comfortable with it yet? Under confidentiality, they're not comfortable with it, but we have talked. And
Okay, wonderful. Now, Dante, you and Jamal, what are you looking? Have you guys already had your Pride Parade?
no, we're actually, like I said, we're new to North Carolina.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's
So
like
Pride is coming up there.
okay,
Mhm.
yeah. So to be truthful, I was talking to somebody at work. They supposed to be like getting me some details because we're networking, trying to find out. You know, now Pittsburgh, I was affiliated with more of like knowing what was going on because we had lived there and we was there for so long. You know,
Mhm.
so like we're trying to find out things. And see, I like to try to find things about the events. The events is what captures me, and then I like to actually, I want to know: do people know what Pride is really about? You know what I mean?
Well, this
And
is something that's
my
been
opinion, my opinion,
Mhm.
I think that they do. I don't believe. And it's just my opinion, and sometimes some people like what I got to say, and then sometimes they don't like what I got to say. You know what I mean? Because, I just don't think everybody, when they show up, is for pride. You know what I mean? That day, yes, it's ours, but do you know what pride stands for? It's our rights. It's everything. You know what I'm saying? It's so that we can be who we are. It's so that we can stand on who we are and keep it there and get it ready for the up and coming generations of the females, of the guys or whatever else. And so they can show and exploit who they are. It's not for hooking up and this, not all of that. I mean, I don't, if you find you somebody, good. But my thing is, I think that everybody should have something ready for pride. I mean, I thank God for pride. You know what I'm saying? I
Mhm.
really do.
Now, not to cut you off. Now, I want to just talk about something. You, Jamal, you guys have a fascinating story that could actually be a television documentary. But right now, I want to just now, since we're talking about Pride, and Dante, you're much younger than Jamal, even though he looks very young. I would have never guessed you were 50 years old. Now, I know as young people, do you watch RuPaul's Drag Race, Dante?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you don't have to go in total details. What do you think of the show? Now, before you tell me what you think of the show, the old school drag. Remember what you're used to seeing compared to what RuPaul is now doing. What do you think?
Well, see, sometimes when I watch it, sometimes I want to go in the mirror and try to make myself look. And I never knew, my age, I I really didn't know what pride really was. That was like until I had to go to it and really open up my eyes and be like, oh, this is what it's about. And I left it because it made me feel like, okay, well, I could just be myself then.
Mhm.
Yes, it took me a minute to understand what I really wanted to be.
Mhm.
And it made me feel good. Like I never like being this type of way. I love seeing drag now because I think they is so beautiful the way how they look. And every time I watch it, it makes me smile. I
Mhm.
love it.
Now, I'm going to ask you guys something now that I think has been the topic on a lot of TikTok. I see this a lot coming from gay men who are seeking relationships within the gay community. And this masculinity and this feminine thing keeps coming up. And it's the gay men saying to other gay men, you don't want me because I'm feminine or I'm chubby or it's, I'm too masculine or I have a beard or you think that I'm old or these things keep coming up in the gay community. Now, neither one of you look unappealing to me. So whether you're masculine or feminine, I have a Russian husband, so you can just imagine. I don't want to talk about him, but
Yeah.
Because he doesn't say much, but he's good at keeping me together. So,
Right.
now, what do you think about the masculine? Because when you look at Dante, he's a little bit more, feminine than
Mhm.
you are, Jamal. I mean, from the way you guys look. Now, that's not what plays into your relationship, is it?
No. We go back
Masculine and feminine.
when people ask us, like, because they they want to make sure that, like, you want to be make sure it's like, what do y'all consider, like, as far as gender, you know what I mean? We both still consider each other, we're both men. We even made up a day, husband and husband day. But people do mistake it, and they be like, when they talk to them, they be like, it just come out, they be like, oh yeah, and her, and they be like, well, wait a minute. He'd be like, well, it doesn't bother me or whatever else, but he also lets them know that he don't, like, go by that. But if, like you said, he don't get mad or he don't feel intimidated. Now, if you're trying to push that description and being ignorant, respectful, oh, he'll let you know. He'll be like, listen, I'm not a girl. You know what I'm saying? He'll be like, so but we don't got no problem. So who wants to be? We love people like that. We got friends like that. But when you try to put a label on us, no, I do know that we both have agreed that we're both men or whatever else. Yes, he knows he's a feminine once. But yes, do I have my feminine days? Every day is not a hard masculine day. Trust me.
Like, I wear hoop earrings.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. Now I want to, let's shift gears here. I'm just a few more questions. Thank you. You guys, this is amazing. This is amazing. I want to talk about when you had the wedding, when the family showed up, and there were some family members there, because our people, regardless of how much they say that they, go to church and they're open-minded and they're liberal, we know how our people are. When they showed up at the wedding, you don't have to say